Hey everyone, welcome to the living room. This is Amir. Just wanted to give you a heads up that we're going to be discussing the topic of suicide on the show today and suicidal acts. If you're triggered by that conversation, if you need some help, just know there are places that you can go to. There are people you can call, reach out to one of the numbers on the screen. You can also reach out to somebody that you love. If you need some help, don't suffer in silence. There are people that can help you.
Inside, I'm slowly dying. There's a band called Allure, and the song is All Cried Out. It's big in the 2000s. Oh my fucking God. No.
What do you want to talk about this week, Amir?
Same thing we talk about every week. It's not me. It's you. Clearly, it's you. Unless it is me.
Live to tape from Vancouver, it's Eric's Living Room, a show best listened to in the nude, featuring Amir Ali. And now, the man who still hasn't paid me for voicing these intros, here is your host, Eric Chapman.
That didn't feel terrible, but not the best massage I've ever had. I wouldn't pay for that.
No, I wasn't going to give you my all. Welcome to the living room. I am Eric. He is Amir. No, I wasn't going to give you my full on.
Okay, good.
Because
I don't want the full on from you.
The only time I really ever massage someone, it's erotic.
Right, and that's
So-
exactly why I don't want. We talked about this last week. I don't want men touching me that way.
Right, but that wasn't erotic.
No, thankfully.
It moved.
I didn't. No, it did not.
Yeah,
move.
mine did. Just a little. But
I mean, I do have nice shoulders.
we had like 4 inches in a chair between us, so it's fine.
Thank God.
Okay, we're going to get into my love life again. No, we're not. Well, a little bit, but we're going to talk about the rating dating game, as you would.
The
But we're
rating dating game.
You like that?
Yeah, what is that?
I just made that up. We're going to talk about it
Okay.
after this mental health check.
Mm.
I am still really happy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible. I haven't been this happy in a long time. I was reading the other day that it takes up to 3 to 5 years to recover from a mental breakdown. And I had one in, I think it was 2021,
Oh,
when I
and
took 3 months off work and I had my mental breakdown.
that was the big radio breakdown.
Yeah, that's when I had my anxiety attack on the air and I lost everything.
And you said it takes 3 to 5 years to recover from.
Apparently, mental
Wow.
breakdowns take 3 to fucking 5
Jesus.
years, dude. Yeah, and so it's been, we're getting on 3 years if it was in 2021 because it's 2024 if I do the math correctly, and I'm not going to do math because I'm horrible at it. But yeah, anyways, and so I was reading that, I was like, oh wow, it would make sense that just now I'd be starting to climb out and feel good consistently. Because that's what it's about for me. It's the consistency of the feeling good. And it's been 3 fucking weeks of happy times McBonertown.
So what if you have like multiple mental breakdowns over the course of a year?
You're basically fucked. Why, are you referring to your year?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, you need probably 17 years to recover from your year, I guess.
And you gotta have some space between the breakdown and your recovery. And I guess you've had some space without,
Definitely.
again, more breakdowns bringing you back down to a point where you're broken down again, I guess.
Yeah, no significant enough ones to make me curl up on a ball on the floor and cry before I get. And you know what's interesting too? I wanted to call some people that I was doing gigs with during that time and apologize to them recently because I was going through a mental breakdown. So everyone at Podium Podcast, I'm sorry, I could have done better.
What do you mean by like you were just not your full self? You were depressed, I
Yeah,
guess?
I wasn't right.
Yeah.
Like they rejected all of my writing, I think, almost, and things like that. Like it was a rough go. My hosting was great, but yeah, the writing. Anyways, so I'm taking us off topic. So how's your mental health?
That's been the most challenging part for me is battling over the course of however fucking long, battling the mental health struggles with also trying your best to focus and excel at your job, at your full-time job, while you're dealing with personal shit, while you're dealing with your mind not being, as solid as it could be. But I've somehow managed to do that. I don't know the actual toll that's taking on me to like push that stuff down, focus on the job, and then sometimes, going home and like coming home to that mental space. Overall, I've been okay. I've had some, somewhat dark thoughts over the last week, but we can get into that a little bit later because we're going to be talking about some stuff that's not super pleasant to be talking about, but some stuff that maybe all of us can relate to on some level. But I don't want to derail too much from you talking about your love life because that's one of my favorite things to talk about or hear about.
Well, okay, so I got back on the dating apps. And my cousin was here last week getting dental surgery. She got dental surgery she has a couple teeth missing in the bottom front, and it was just like horrible thing. We were talking about, you in the front.
Dating apps, multiple?
Actually, I'm just on one.
Okay.
I'm just on
Okay.
Hinge.
Okay.
So my cousin was here getting her surgery, and it was awesome. I love you, Becky. And we hung out, and while we're here last week on Thursday, I got a little notification. Because, you have never done the apps, have you?
It's been a long time, and I've just not had the best luck swiping left and right.
Yeah,
so I
but
just stopped
okay,
swiping.
so you understand how they work,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
how, like... when
Yeah, you
get
pay
unless
money
you pay,
and you get
like,
more
I don't
popular.
pay, though. That's the thing, I don't pay. And so you get a different dating app experience. Like, you don't get the girls. The algorithm doesn't work for you.
Yeah, you
It's
get a
all
ghetto experience.
Yeah, it's exactly it. And not to say that the ladies are ghetto.
No.
But it's just not the whole selection.
Yeah,
of
like
ladies.
pushes you down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I've gone over this girl a couple times and been like, ooh, I want to swipe on her because she's so fucking hot.
That's what the kids are calling it these days. I want to swipe on her.
I want to swipe on her. Ew, it sounds gross and dirty now. Yeah. But I didn't because I didn't want to approach like girls that are like smoking hot. Like it's personally for me, she's the perfect height because I like shorter girls a lot of the time.
And girls like taller guys.
And she's 5'1".
Mm.
And
you're like 8 feet tall.
And she's got this like kind of like girl next door nerdy look that for me is like, it hurts to look at her. Like, you know what I mean? It fucking hurts.
Oh, I know exactly what you
know
mean.
exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly what you mean.
And so I never did. And then I think she commented on me. And I was like, oh shit. And so I kicked it off hot. And we were fucking going at it. And like the next day, I was like, yo, do you want to, like, I dig your vibe. Do you want to hang out? And she's like, yes, absolutely. I was like, fucking yes, absolutely. That's the best response I've ever got. So anyways, it's great. She's wonderful. Blah, blah, blah. But back to the reason, and I'm going on a date with her tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Today's Thursday. It doesn't matter the date. Oh, it's the leap day.
Oh, yeah. Today's a leap day, right?
Yeah. So within a week, I got a date with this. Just like, again, for me personally, it's driving me nuts how fucking hot she is. But part of the reason I wouldn't swipe on her is because she's a 15 out of 10 and I'm like I think personally I'm a 3
Okay.
or a 4.
I'm not here to compliment you or anything like that. I totally get where you're coming from, but you're at least a 7.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's why I preface with that's how I feel
For
about
sure.
me. But thank you. I appreciate that. That's a solid number.
I don't even put myself on the scale. Like I between
right.
yeah.
Right.
I'm not
and
even
dude,
there.
you're a 12.
Stop.
And I'm not. You've heard this from people like Maureen McGrath. She said you're the most handsome. Like, it's true. You're a fucking hot dude. And the same thing for me. I'm not trying to fucking butter you up. But that's part of why I didn't swipe on this girl too, right? Because I'm like, yo, it's just she's out of my league, so I'm hesitant to do anything with it. And so I just wonder how you feel about that, because when it comes to, again, as I just gave the example with you, there is no league. Like, when I see a fucking fat Italian man with a beautiful young lady,
Totally.
or old lady, just a beautiful woman, I'm like, damn, bro, you deserve her. I don't care if you got a belly like that. You're awesome, and you're hot in some way, or you have a lot of coke or money. Whatever it is, you got the girl and you deserve her. But when it comes to me, I can't switch that off.
Yeah, you hear it all the time about, how dating for men specifically, it's all about confidence. and that women largely don't care about how you look. They care about how you come off, how confident you are, how much game you've got. That's not what girls say, but like that's kind of what it's about. For me though, if I don't feel confident about myself, and a lot of it is sort of vanity and superficial, I don't have the confidence. I don't have the game. I don't have any of that. And I would say out of the year, I probably have like 6 days where I go into the mirror and I'm like, damn, you look good today, Amir. 6 days out of the year where I actually feel that way. So like being in a relationship now with someone that constantly tells me that I'm attractive and hot, oftentimes I get those compliments. I'm like, they in one ear out the other. I'm like, there's no fucking way that this person means that, because of how little I view myself as, or how poorly I view myself.
But as me responding to and hearing that you get those compliments, I'm like, that's awesome, bro, because you don't get that a lot. Like a lot of people, I haven't. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy that you get that. But it must be weird to absorb that. How do you get game? Like, you have a partner now, you have a girlfriend, and you've had girlfriends before.
Yeah.
Confirmed by Amir. How do you get the game you need to get the woman?
Yeah.
Like, I'm asking you, like, what do you do? How do you build how do you fight that anxiety? Because I'm just like, I don't know how I'm able to shut it off sometimes to do it, but I'm able to shut the anxiety off and just like be comfortable in my space and do it. But it's very difficult.
Yeah, and we're in two different kind of worlds about this, because in my current situation, it was someone that I already knew, so there was already a little bit of familiarity there. I wasn't just approaching some stranger about that, and I think that's where that idea of game comes into play, like how to make that first impression. This person kind of approached me, which obviously helped.
Whoa, that's trippy. Has that happened often with women and you?
It's happened a decent amount.
Really, eh?
And so when that happens, that's
man,
automatic.
That never happens to me.
Automatically kind of a confidence boost. Like, oh, this person's like reaching out. So
fuck yeah.
They obviously think something about me already. I don't have to feel self-conscious as much. But like on a dating app for you, like on Hinge, like, yeah, you gotta obviously girls want someone that's assertive, not aggressive necessarily, but confident. Confidence is a word that I always hear, and it's a big thing in mental health to have confidence. And I think that's what game is. I think it's just confidence. Even if you are a fat Italian dude, if you grow up to be a fat Italian guy, if you're confident, you can get anyone.
Yeah. And maybe that's why I was able to and been able to do good, because I've been
you've been feeling good already, and this happened while you're feeling good.
Yo, yeah, and it's only added to my feeling good. Like today, I'm like strutting my stuff.
Oh yeah,
strutting my stuff.
Oh, for
round
sure.
the house, doing the chores, doing laundry, strutting my stuff. Round the house. But it's like it adds to it. And you know what's interesting too? And my cousin was here. And I'm still there. I'm not like diving into this as a relationship. Don't get me wrong. I'm just excited for it because it's great. And that's the last thing I said to her too. I was like, I'm excited to see you. And she's like, me too. And I was like, yo.
But keep the expectations in check.
Low. Oh, they're low.
Yeah. Always.
They have to stay low. And it's no comment on anyone.
Yeah. Just pretend she's going to run you over with her car tomorrow because she hates
like,
you.
I've had some dates where it's like, gone so horribly wrong so fast. Like I was dating a girl once and we were talking, we went, we hung out a couple times, and then one time we went to the bar on this big night. We spent the whole evening together, and then we were at the bar and she started making out with some guy.
Oh my God.
And this was into like a couple conversations. Like we were into it. So it's like always like I'm reality checking myself. And so that's what I was mentioning. It's like I'm going in level-headed and clear. But super giddy.
Yeah,
super
you should
giddy.
be.
Yeah.
I think you should go into it with that energy and just stay excited. But again, don't feel awful if things don't work out the way you hope. Right?
No.
I've had a lot of trouble with that and keeping my expectations in check. But I've even had times where like I remember this one situation when I was in my 20s when I lived with some roommates and was partying a lot and stuff like that, and I was single, and some of my friends wanted to hook me up with this girl who seemed like she was into me, lots of signals were being thrown around, and I had the opportunity to pursue it, but I even had a job. I had a full-time job. I worked at TELUS as a salesperson, but this person was going to university for some fancy course and shit, and it was just like, I sell cell phones. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to go on a date with this person and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm in customer service. I sell cell phones in retail. You're studying to become a fucking master's graduate
Yeah,
or
but
whatever."
that ain't right, man. Cell phone salesmen are just
I
as
know.
noble as every
Totally,
fucking else.
and that's what
yeah.
I've learned growing up now. Is it doesn't matter what the fuck you do, just be a good person. Who cares?
Yeah, totally. But again, don't get me wrong. I still battle with that shit because it's like, you know.
Because yeah, you're struggling with
feel-
employment right now.
Oh my god! Like I even like one of the first thing I say to anybody I would talk to, and this girl, I was like, "Look, full disclosure, I'm on EI," which is, you know, the reaction to that is a big tell. Like if they just gloss on it and keep powering through, I'm like, "Yo, okay, perfect. That's what I."
No, I think in your case though, you can use it as an advantage. I'm just coming up with this right now.
Yeah, go hit me.
You don't have a job, you're on EI, but you've got all of this shit going on here without having a full-time job. You're still
Right.
making a little bit of money on the side with some gigs that you're doing and shit, but like
Yeah, well, I'm working with someone pretty fucking cool. Right
I
now.
would say that you should be proud of what you're able to do considering your
I'm
circumstances.
trying. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now stop trying to blow me.
No.
Let's move on. So the next, again, as Amir said at the start, this is talk about. There's some conversation. The conversation isn't about suicide, but it's sprung from a suicidal act. So just a heads up, it's coming through right here, but the conversation is more of. So Aaron Bushnell was a U.S. He was in the Navy or the Marines. I'm not sure the details. And he committed an act recently where he recorded himself walking in front of the Israel embassy and pouring gas on himself and killing himself, taking his own life. So, or committing suicide, taking his own life, whatever the fucking proper suicidal term is. And so that has been ringing in my head, and Amir hasn't seen it. I'm so happy he hasn't, and I described it all to him. And if you haven't seen it, don't watch it. And if you know about it, that's good enough.
And just to add in real quick, he was 25 years old,
Yeah.
and he was with the U.S. Air Force.
Air Force, thank you very much. Yeah. So, anyways, the conversation isn't about that, but that's what sprung this topic for me. It's like all I could hear for 3 days was "Free Palestine," because that was the last thing he said. And it's like it's ringing in my ear, and I'm just thinking about everyone else. And so many people are making like these flippant comments about, you know, politics and suicide and how this is that and blah, blah, blah. And they're totally ignoring the fact that this person took their life. This is a brave act to take your own life. And so it's like it's this fucking bombardment of just garbage and death and people dying. And it's like I'm doing everything I can. I'm using all my tools and I'm surviving. Don't get me wrong, like the rest of us. And this is all like relative to other people's struggles, to mine. But it's like, as much as I struggle with it all and I get through, man, it's like, we're not built for this. And this is too much. And how do we get, like, you know, so many how questions have been running in through my mind. But it's like, it's difficult for a lot of people. And I don't think people know how to handle it. So I am speaking to those people too. It's like, you're not alone, for fuck's sakes. Like, I'm having a tough time not hearing that voice and not just constantly thinking about death and how it's like, God, we're not built for this. This isn't okay. And even with my best, I'm getting through, but I can barely do it. Like, how do we proceed forward?
I mean, I'm one of those people that you're talking to who realizes that we're not built for this. And over the last few weeks at work, I've been covering a lot of stories or being around a lot of stories about it's very different from what Aaron Bushnell went through, what he was going through when he did what he did. But in the grand scheme of things, is it that different? The stories that I'm referring to are stories about medical incidents on SkyTrain. And very often a medical incident on SkyTrain is someone having killed themselves in front of a fucking train. And in the weeks following those, this happened like multiple times every week for, I want to say, like the last month. No exaggeration.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been that frequent
That
lately,
frequent.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And there have been other instances where there's been negotiations with people standing on the tracks threatening to jump.
I've been there twice when that's happened.
And in the weeks following being close to these stories, I've been taking SkyTrain home, and every time I'm on the fucking train, I'm thinking, man, there was one time where I was sitting at the very front of the train looking at the tracks and just thinking about someone fucking standing in front of this train, what's going through their head. Over the last week, I've myself had some dark thoughts just because, not one specific thing, just it's overwhelming. The amount of shit that we're processing every day, the amount of shit that we're dealing with personally and as a society and as a global population. And yeah, I totally resonate with what you're saying. It's a lot to handle. I don't think as human beings we're built for this. We were born into a society where I think we're now kind of trained to handle it. It's all normalized, all the shit that we're dealing with, all the stuff that's coming at us from 1,000 different directions, but it all of it feels so unnatural.
And helpless. Because all these like so-called smart people, I think that's part of it too. But like, what do we do? Do you get that ever feeling of like you want to do something, but you don't know what to do too? Like, you know
when
what I mean?
When
Like,
you say do something, are you referring to?
No. I'm not referring to anything like. Sorry, I didn't realize what I was what could have been referencing there. Not taking a life. I'm just talking about like you hear stories of people like doing these brave things, like okay, taking your life, but going to Ukraine and fighting a war. Standing like, would you get into politics and try and fight something? Like, is this a thought you have? Like, because these are the things that run through my mind all the time. I want to get into politics so fucking bad, but I can't because I can't lie. It's really tough for me to lie to people. I'm going to be real. I'm really fucking good at lying because I grew up having to lie, but I can't get into politics. So like, that's where I get stuck, and that's where I sit in my hamster wheel in my mental health, was like, I need to do something. What do I do? But is that like just me trying to be a savior? Like, do I have to just make my surrounding people and my surrounding area my happy place? But that doesn't, I keep getting told that, and I can't fucking get over the hump if it's not good enough. Like, I want to do more.
I always think about that, and I always think about what that thing is that I can do, and I'm not even kidding you. I have gone through the thought process of like an Aaron Bushnell type act. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Not in a serious way where I'm planning it out or anything, but it makes me wonder what Aaron Bushnell did. What is that going to stand for now? Is what he did making a change happen? Are people taking notice of what he did in a way that's going to impact change? I'm thinking that when he decided to do what he did in his final moments screaming "Free Palestine," maybe he thought that he could spark a change. Maybe he thought that he was doing what you're suggesting. Like, maybe that was his act of forcing a change. And you know what? I'm sure he did. I'm sure that he has impacted people, who knows how many people, but he definitely, with doing what he did, he has caused a spark or a change in the minds of, you have to think, at least a handful of people. And if he knew that, do you think he would think, okay, this was worth what I did?
Yeah. But is that even enough? You know what I mean? Like, again, his sacrifice was brave, but to that extreme.
And there's going to be people that would argue that it's brave. There's a lot of people that think people that do that are weak and have taken the easy way out.
Yeah, let's talk. There's a great Norm Macdonald joke, and I don't know how to say it properly, but it's along the lines of, you know, people always say when someone takes their own life or commits the act, like, I don't get it. Why did they do that? What's going on? And the response Norm says is, and I do this too, it's like, you don't get it? Really? You don't understand why someone like, wow, I would love to sit down and listen to how well you're doing, because it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing, if you're a CEO or a mother of 10 or whatever. Like, these thoughts pop into people. Life is fucking tough, man. Whoever said life is short is an asshole. Life is long and arduous. It's difficult. And to not go into those places is okay too, but to go to those places is okay too.
I also
Because
think that
we're
it's,
not fucking built for this, man.
Yeah, and I also think it's bullshit to judge someone who has done that, because everyone's life is their own, and honestly,
it.
they can do whatever the fuck they want
That's
with their
it.
life. If they want to take it,
Yeah.
it's their life to take, and we don't have any right to judge. We have no idea what they were going through in that moment, regardless of what notes they left behind. No one really knows what someone's going through, or how much pain they're dealing with that they need. And that's what I've thought about with the SkyTrain shit. Like, how much pain
Oh,
was this person going through that they thought that standing in front of a train was the answer?
but how can, and this is where I get stuck too, is like you and I in this room right now, and maybe some people watching and listening, you know, they're like, I feel it too, but it's like, how can that not be the majority of people not feeling the way we feel and pondering it like we ponder it? Like, we need more people to ponder it, but I guess it all ties into stigmatism. And again, people are calling people that do that cowards and that shit, but like, that blows my mind. Like, people are suffering so bad that they're able to do this or make an act so extreme that they think it's the thing that will help. Like, that's a lot of pain, and not a lot of people are reacting the proper way to it.
Yeah, and I think in terms of what you were saying about, like, what can you do? Like, what's that thing that you can do? Like, the thing that to do to make the change, to be the spark or whatever. Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And I think it's going to sound lame and cliche, but like, we need to talk about it. We need to have conversations like this
That's
about
it.
it. It needs to be more out in the open. It needs to not be stigmatized. Mental health has been stigmatized for so fucking long, and only now, like in the last several years, are we really having normalized conversations about what it means to have poor mental health or to have issues with your mental health. And even for me, like, I've only been talking about this for the last couple of years, and I'm 35 years old now.
Right.
And you know, where would I be today if I was having these conversations when I was in my 20s instead?
I think about that with retirement savings. Where would I be if I was saving from retirement since I was like 20? I'd be retired.
You'd be retired at, how old are you again? 57?
403.
Yeah, you'd be set, man.
I'd be dead. Oh, that would be awesome.
No.
It would be over.
No. Stop it.
And if you're having thoughts of suicide, please contact people you love. We'll put some more numbers up here because we just talked about it for a while. And
It's not a joke.
It was all right. Yeah, no, there's no joke there. But I'm always joking. So there was a joke before it, and there could be a joke preceding it. What do you want to talk about next week, Amir?
Is the internet responsible for the degradation of our collective mental health? I kind of think it is.